not too late. 41.8. It's supposed to be the warmest day of the year so far today, so we shall see. And I don't have my glasses on, but I think it's Wednesday. But I don't know what the date is. 24th, maybe. I'll see. Good morning. I don't know why Pearl just got up and left. It's Barbara. It is Wednesday the 24th. Dennis looked for me. He was down here getting another cup of tea. I'm wearing my Archer. Can't see the arch. There you go. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a podcast today. It is time. Oh, my dad. Oh, good news. No. Off. There's Maisie with her paw on me again. There's my Archer and my Maisie Daisy. Good news from my parents. They're going to be able to have visitors in their rooms. So I guess everybody got their shots and everything, their vaccines where they live, and so people can go visit. So I can go visit my parents. Oh my gosh. And like go to their apartment. It's been a year. It's been almost exactly a year since I've been in their apartment. I have visited them twice on their patio. I went like the first week of March to visit them. Last year at this time, Dennis and I were skiing in South Lake Tahoe, California. And COVID was on the news, and Dennis was starting to get really worried. Dennis was early. He was an early bird on the whole COVID thing. He was like, this is going to be bad. We need to get home. We need to be careful. And we were wearing masks before anybody because he knew that masks would help. Because he's a smart man. And we were wearing masks even when Dr. Fauci was saying, oh no, you don't need masks. But anyway, so we were coming home, and that was the week that the cruise ship pulled into Oakland, California, full of COVID people, and they were trying to figure out what to do. I mean, the scrambling was happening while we were in California for COVID. And so we got home, I don't know exactly, but I think it was still February, maybe March 1st, something like that. And I almost immediately went and visited my parents. And for the weekend, and I was there. I went on Friday. I was going to stay overnight and hang out with them, eat and have dinner with my brother, and, go back and visit the parents on Saturday before I headed home. And while I was there on Friday, we walked in and you had to, sanitize your hands and that kind of stuff. And they asked you if you had a fever, this was very early. And so I was there Friday, and I was getting ready to go to my brother's for dinner on Friday, and one of the other residents said, oh, they're changing the visitation rules, and you're not going to be allowed to have any visitors. So before I left, I said, am I going to be able to come and visit my parents tomorrow? And they said, no. Rules have changed. I said, okay, well then I'm staying for dinner. So I stayed as late as I could visiting my parents, and it was like the very last minute I could visit them, I was there. It was very lucky that I was there that weekend. And that was like the first weekend in March. So it's been a year. So I will make a plan to drive up and visit my parents, and I'll just, spend the afternoon. Maybe I'll stop by and see my nieces. My one niece from California is visiting my brother, so maybe I don't even know, because I'm sure they haven't been vaccinated. I know I haven't been vaccinated. Anyway, so that was good news. And he also gave me an assignment. He didn't get one of his 1099s, and I have to make some phone calls. My father Does not have an email address. He doesn't want an email address. He uses my brother's email address for all the things that, you know, you have to put in an email address. Like when you sign up for Netflix or anything like that. He uses my brother's. My brother is, they have the same names. And John Colin. So my brother, you know, anyway. And that's the brother that lives in State College with them. So he's in charge of Daddy's, you know, anything Daddy needs an email address for, he uses John's. And he doesn't get emails using John's. He just uses it as the address he gives. So they told him, send us an email and, you know, you're more likely to get a response. But he can't send an email. He can't receive an email. So he called me up and said, here, you have email. See if you can get this for us. I'm like, okay, I'll do it, Daddy. So, anyway. Nice visit from my dad. It'd be so fun to see my parents in their space. Not allowed to eat with them, because then you have to take your mask off. That's okay. Anyway. I for sure can't remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about, I had a nice comment from Rosie when I was talking about my no-buy year, which obviously didn't start yesterday till today. You know, I get the irony of me talking about I'm having a no-buy year, and I just bought 2 patterns from Isabel Kramer, and here's her code. But I don't really need more patterns because I have thousands, 2,000 patterns in my Ravelry pattern library. They aren't all by a long shot, you know, paid for individual patterns, but like I put all my books in there and everything. I have a shelf full of pattern books and I have tons of patterns. So I just need to do a little research on what I already have before I try to make another sweater or whatever. And I have lots of patterns that I have bought because I like the pattern and it was on sale. Now I have several Jane Richmond sweaters that she recently had a big sale and I bought some sweaters of hers that I really like. I have never knit a Jane Richmond sweater. So anyway, I understand there was a little irony there. But Rosie said, you shouldn't include your watercolors with your no-buy year because you're just learning about, you know, you have to figure out what are your paints and your brushes and your paper. And she said it would be like, you know, having one set of needles and, you know, saying, I'm having a no-buy year, I can't buy, you know, more needles to, you know, as a new knitter. And it made me think about my first set of needles I bought. It was in a plastic case. It was a set of interchangeable needles. I have no idea what they were called. I do not own them anymore. But they were plastic. And the cords were thick and they were plastic. And it was like, I don't know, $20 or something for an interchangeable set of interchangeable needles. And I got it, I'm sure, at Joann's. And I knit using those needles for my first knitting projects until I discovered, you know, real nice needles. And you do have to be careful when you're first starting out, you know, making sure that you have supplies that help you grow and learn and discover yourself as a crafter or artist. I almost said artist. Anyway, so she's right. I did order myself some Payne's Gray. I put in a little order, not at Amazon. I think, you know, my not wanting to support Amazon at this point is a big part of what trying to achieve here too, because Jeff Bezos and Amazon are turning into a really, really bad player in the world, and I'd rather not support that. And Amazon is so easy, and that's the problem. So I did not order anything from Amazon. I went to a little art store chain that one of my watercolor people on my TV uses, and ordered from them. I've ordered from them before, so I ordered a couple colors, and I ordered a fountain pen, cartridge fountain pen, because some of those line drawings I want to try with a fountain pen rather than with a fine point marker type thing. I wanted to try with a fountain pen. So that's what I did, but I am going to slow way down on the watercolored things. I need to learn what I have and how to use them. I still have many colors to explore on that beautiful set that Kathy gave me, and I have, you know, and I can buy more paper when I get low on paper, you know. I mean, if I get low, I can replace things. And my plan for my no buy year includes replacing things. And if I feel like I'm being stymied in my watercolor exploration because I don't have a certain kind of paint, or if I need a kind of brush, I will probably get one, because I don't want to stymie my watercolor enthusiasm because of not having what I need. On the other hand, I won't be buying any more needles, knitting needles, unless I break one or my dog eats it, which could happen, has happened in the not so distant past. And I don't need more yarn, and I don't need more patterns. I don't need clothes. I don't need magazines. I don't need books. My library has tons of books. So all the things, I mean, basically my plan is to not spend my allowance, because everything that I use my allowance for is very optional, and I have lots. I mean, if I wear out a pair of shoes, I'll buy shoes, you know, that kind of thing. But I really am going to try to not acquire more things. And, you know, like I'm emptying the dishwasher. Dennis used ramekins for the crab imperial last night, which was so delicious. Oh my gosh, it was so rich and delicious. I could only eat half of mine, so I'm having the exact same dinner tonight. Did I already tell you that? Oh, I'm so excited. But the other 3 ramekins came out of the dishwasher, and I'm like, where do these go? He says they don't have a place. They go in the dining room, which means on the dining room table. I mean, we have stuff that he actually uses that we don't have a place for. We are so disorganized. I mean, we moved into this house 20 years ago. In 2001, we bought the house. We made settlement in April. We're almost at the 20th anniversary of us buying this house. And, you know, we moved in. We put stuff. We just put stuff. And that stuff is still there. And we could go through every cupboard in this kitchen and get rid of half of the things because we don't use them. Partly because the cupboards aren't that great, and so half the time you don't see them and don't even... I mean, Dennis discovered something the other day behind a stack of stuff behind a pot. He's like, I had no idea we had these. I'm like, yeah. Oh, I can use these. I'm like, yeah, okay, good. But that's how it is in our kitchen. So, in our whole house. So I don't need things. Anyway, but it's not, but you know, this is going to be a challenge, and you'll watch me be challenged. It'll be a challenge. Because it's part of, you know, whatever. Anyway, thank you, Rosie, for the good advice. I'm not going to stifle my watercolor enthusiasms because I can't get something that I think might help. But I am going to explore what I do have more fully before I put in another order. But I did order the Payne's Gray and a couple other colors. And so starting now, I'm not going to buy any more patterns. I'm going to use what I got and see where I go. I mean, it's only going to be 10 months. It's not even a whole year because it's almost the end of February now. We had the most delicious dinner. Did I tell you that? See, that's what happens. The phone rang. The phone rang pretty early up when I started. Dennis made crab imperial. It was the first time he had made it. Oh, yum, yum. I mean, Dennis is an excellent cook, so, I mean, there was no question that it was going to be delicious. It was really good. Very rich. And I couldn't even finish mine. I'm essentially having the same dinner tonight, which will be crab imperial, mashed cauliflower, and Caesar salad. Yeah, really good. And then we watched Tosca. I told you I didn't know anything about Tosca. I knew Kim would be able to tell me the story. Guess what? It's not a comedy. Everybody dies at the end, except the soldiers, who are very minor parts. All the main characters die at the end. By the end. Well, spoiler alert, it is an opera. We watched the version with Luciano Pavarotti. And Luciano Pavarotti is apparently not Kim's favorite. So she ordered another version, but it hadn't come yet. Placido Domingo as the main tenor guy. And so she said we could have the Tosca, and I said, I'm not sure we would actually watch it, so Aura took it. She thought she might watch it. And I said, if we want to watch it, we'll just borrow it from Aura. She's close. So anyway, we had a lovely, lovely evening. We sat and talked and listened to music and ate delicious food. And it was good. It was really nice. It is supposed to be the warmest day of the year so far today, so I will keep an eye out. I did clear the table, so it's the perfect time to try to set up my temperatures, because if it's going to be warm, I'm going to get out of my 3-color comfort zone that I've been in. 4 colors. And I'm going to need to start thinking about other colors. So now would be the time when I can lay things out on the table without too much fuss. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do my task for my dad, get his Mama's 1099 form. And my mother is a grammarian. She was a grammarian as her profession. She was famous in the grammarian world. Nationally known grammarian. And she wrote several textbooks in her day. She's no longer writing, but her textbooks are still in print, and so she has acquired co-authors, and so they are continuing to update the books and revise them and keeping them in print. And so every year she gets a little bit of a residual royalties from her books. I think this may be the last year she gets a royalty, because it's been a while since she's worked on her books. But anyway, my job is to figure out the tax situation there. But yeah. So if you're taking a grammar class, you might be reading my mama's books. I'm wearing my cute little, I don't know if you can see, those are little sheep, little metal sheep. I found these on my old earring holder. I wore these early, I think, in my earring extravaganza that I did over the summer and fall. I got these at Rhinebeck. Obviously not last year, the year before. And they're very small, and I put my earrings on without glasses, and these were tucked together next to a big pair of earrings, and I just discovered them on my own. I go, my sheep, I totally forgot I had those, because I decided I wanted to wear earrings, and I remembered to do that. So here's my little sheep from Rhinebeck. And with that information, I will let you go. I will talk to you tomorrow. I'm hoping I do a podcast today, but now that I have an assignment from my dad, who knows? In theory, that shouldn't take too long, because in theory, I should call this number and they should give me an email address. And I can send him an email. That would be best. So, from my lazy girl, I don't know, my other lazy girl, I see the back of her. My lazy girls and me, we will say goodbye, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Stay safe and stay